Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show podcast. Hello if you're new. So today's episode is going to be a review of RuPaul's drag. Today's video is going to be a review of RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race Season 1, Episode 1. Now they kind of just revealed that they were going to have this season like a week or so ago. It's kind of been like a rumor / secret. People have been calling for a celebrity RuPaul's Drag Race, and then obviously they announced it. So I was really interested in the format that they were going to have. Was it going to be as long as the usual seasons? Who was going to be in it, of course? What were the challenges going to be? And also, how were they going to treat the celebrities? Were they going to go easy on them? Were they going to treat them like every other Drag Race contestant? So it was quite interesting. So obviously, first going into the show, we know that we have drag mentors. We have Bob the drag queen. Loved her on her season. Worthy winner. I follow her on all her socials. She's hilarious. Then Exchange, obviously her and Bob also have a podcast together. Loved her on the show. Loved her on the first season. Loved her on All Stars. The win was definitely controversial in terms of how the joint win went down. But I'm not going to get into that. And then Trixie Mattel. You know, the drag queen that thinks that racist jokes are funny, that queen. I don't really have much else to say about her. So in terms of them having mentors, in the beginning, I was just kind of like, I'm not really sure about this whole mentor thing. I feel like I would probably rather have them as judges. I feel like there's enough seasons now for them to bring on alumni as judges. So at first I was kind of thinking, I think I probably would have rather them as judges. But after watching this episode, I think it was definitely a good idea. And I love them having them as mentors, them providing commentary. In terms of what I think of them, Bob was absolutely hilarious. Bob was cracking me up the whole episode. Monet was also chiming in as well. Trixie, I just kind of feel like her energy wasn't up to par with Bob and Monet. And I think that's probably because obviously Bob and Monet have an existing relationship. You could tell that Trixie did not have chemistry with Bob, but obviously those three different queens catered to different audiences. But yeah, what did you guys think about the queens that they selected? Did you like them? Did you not? Is there anybody who you would have liked to have seen as a mentor? I personally would have swapped Trixie out for Nick Hart, just because I feel like it probably would have been better chemistry there. But yeah, let me know what you think. See the mentors sitting together, and there's this whole little skit where the celebrities are standing behind this wall. We don't know who they are. They've given us a small description of themselves, and they have like a disguised voice, and we don't really know who they are. And it's kind of like a skit where the mentors are guessing who they think it is. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I could have done without that. I feel like that was a bit cheesy, a bit dramatic. I feel like we should have just introduced the mentors and then cut straight to the workroom revealing who the celebrities were. Then we eventually get to the workroom where they reveal who the celebrities are for this episode. Now there's only 3 celebrities per episode. I think maybe I would have preferred a bit more, but obviously it's the first season. Maybe they're testing out the format. If it goes well, if it's successful, they'll probably have more queens per episode. Each episode is basically its own mini season. So with each episode, we're going to get a new batch of contestants and a new winner. I think this is probably a good format to test it out in. I personally think I would have liked to have seen the regular format with celebrities, but I can get why they decided to do it in this format. But what do you guys think? Do you like this fast track format, or would you have preferred to have seen the celebrities in the same format as the normal Drag Race contestants? Then we get them walking into the workroom, and it was so weird because obviously with the normal RuPaul's Drag Race, you see them coming in their extravagant outfits, and with the celebrities, you're just seeing them coming in with plain clothes. So then first celebrity is Nico Tortorella. I've never heard of them before. They say that they are an actor. They seem interesting. They're taking up a lot of space. So Nico seems very self-important. They said that they had experience with drag, and that comes as no surprise to me, as they seem so confident, so sure of themselves. And I feel like I was definitely getting publicity vibes of Nico. Nico definitely came here to gain some publicity because I definitely didn't know who. First impressions of Nico, I thought they were a bit of a character, and I thought they had a pretty face, pretty canvas, and potentially could be one to watch. Next celebrity is somebody I recognized right off the bat. It's Sweet Pea from Riverdale. And I'm not gonna lie, I laughed when he came through the door. I was like, oh my god, it's him. Obviously, he's an actor from Riverdale. Most people know what Riverdale is. He hasn't really got like a main role in it. It's kind of just like a supporting role, background role. He says in his role, he's very macho. And I'm not really sure if I would describe his role as macho because I feel like I can't really take the machoism seriously in Riverdale because it's like become such a goofy show. But, you know, he says that he played sports seriously and he's been around a lot of masculine energy. He's used to wearing pads. And I guess this is probably like a new experience for him. This is probably just something he wanted to try out. But of course, publicity. As I said, he doesn't really have much of a big role on Riverdale. RuPaul's Drag Race is a big franchise. Going on the show could be a good way to market yourself. He seems pretty excited about the situation. And again, a very pretty canvas. So I was pretty excited to see him in drag, but I kind of wrote him off at this point. I'm not really sure if he was much of a contender. Based off of his entrance, I kind of just thought he was just here to have a little bit of publicity and have some fun. Then the next celebrity was Jermaine Fowler. Again, I've never heard of him. He's supposedly a comedian. And this is his first experience. He says he wants to try something different, unexpected. Doesn't like to put himself in a box. So he thought this would be a great opportunity to challenge himself. And again, publicity, obviously. Like I said, I didn't really know who he was. But good for him. He had a lot of personality. But good for him. He had a lot of personality. He had a lot of fighting talk. And I thought that if anyone was going to challenge Nico, it was going to be him. In their interactions with each other in the workroom, straight off the bat, I caught some shade from Nico. Nico basically told Jordan that he was going to be great for the pretty stuff and Jermaine was going to be great for the comedy stuff. And I was just like, Nico, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, honey? That was some shade there because they are basically saying that Jordan is pretty, you not so much, but you know, you can rely on your comedy. That was shady. Did anyone else catch that shade? And Jermaine is also in the confessional basically saying how, you know, he's keeping it cute, but he's keeping his eyes on the prize and how he's here to compete. And he senses the little fakeness off of everyone. So then Rue enters, introduces herself, and he's busting jokes. The British accent comes out, you know, that classic British accent. I love British accent, Rue. At first I thought it was cringy, but now I've grown to love it. He basically lets us know what the format of the show is going to be. It's going to be a mini challenge. There's going to be a quick drag, then there's going to be a mini challenge, and there's going to be a maxi challenge where they're going to be in full drag and then they're going to lip sync. And what is on offer, because that's what I was thinking, they're going to win money to keep, or is it going to be money for charity? Generally with the celebrity format, it is money for charity, and RuPaul was giving 30k away to the charity of the celebrity's choice. So first we see quick drag, and it was hilarious seeing especially Jermaine and Jordan because they had never been in drag before, trying to figure out how to put the fake boobs on, how to figure out how to put foundation on their faces. They looked so stressed and lost. It was honestly so funny. And Bob as well in the background, his commentary, he was cracking me up, especially when Jordan was putting 3 wigs on his head and he was just like, what are you doing? And I was just like, yeah, what is he actually doing? You don't need 3 wigs on your head. And I feel like maybe the reason why the reason why Jordan was putting 3 wigs on his head is because he saw the conch on Trixie's head and thought, maybe I need 3 wig caps so that my wig can lay flat. I'm sorry, but yeah, that was a bit of a conch on Trixie's head. I know I'm not the only one who saw it. So by the end, they all look hilarious. They've got that cement booty look. And then it's the mini challenge, which is this goofy challenge where they're going around in these mini vehicles that are too long for their legs, getting wardrobe, putting a wig on, and then doing a little performance at the end. And again, Bob was cracking me up again. Like when he said that Jordan was huge, which he is, he's very tall, and that he looked like, you know, when he was wearing a dress was made for a 14-year-old girl, and on him it looks like a bra. We see the shot of Jordan, and obviously he's wearing heels, so his legs just look even more long, and the top just literally looks like it's shriveling up on him. It looks so funny. And then again, when Jermaine's tits were like detaching from his body, and Bob was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, you've dropped your titties." He was cracking me up this whole episode. Honestly, I feel like if anybody needs a show with a voiceover, they need to hire Bob, because he was cracking me the hell up. Then in terms of the final lip syncs that we see at the end of that mini challenge, so then we see Nico, they're showing out in this challenge. They're shaking their ass, they're bending over, they're shaking the legs, they're shaking thigh. So I was just thinking, okay, this is interesting. So Nico definitely came here to perform, definitely came here to say, look, I'm a performer. Definitely came here to make themselves memorable. And after seeing that, I was definitely interested to see what they were going to bring to the lip sync. Then it was Jordan's turn, and Jordan was giving mouth, giving face, you know, he was giving hand movements. It was very cute. It's very clear that he had done his research. I think he was definitely holding back. So at this point I was thinking, okay, he's holding back a little bit, but he's probably got a lot more to offer, but he wants to, you know, have a little sneak attack, let people sleep on him, and then show out at the lip sync. So I was like, okay, maybe I underestimated Jordan. I think I'm going to keep my eye on him. Then it was Jermaine, and he was a bit funny with it. He wasn't really taking it that serious. But either way, I was just kind of thinking maybe he just, like, you know, wanted to keep it cool. But even still, I still was thinking, okay, he's probably going to deliver. In terms of the mini challenge, Jordan was definitely my winner for the mini challenge. And Rue obviously agreed, and he won the mini challenge. And then because he won the mini challenge, he gets to pick which mentor everybody gets. And because he won, he gets to pick what mentors everybody is assigned to. So he chooses Trixie, which was interesting. I would have thought he would have had better taste, but okay. But, you know, that's his favourite queen. Each to their own. And he pairs up Nico with Monet and Bob with Jermaine. And then it's revealed that the challenge this week is Snatch Game. Now, in terms of them getting prepared for each challenge, I thought they were going to be forced to do their own makeup, but it is the mentors that do their makeup for them. And so as the mentors are getting the contestants ready, we see a few conversations going on in the workroom. Jordan says the main reason why he is doing the show is because his siblings are gay, so he's doing it for his siblings. And, you know, that is cute and all, but, you know, I feel like it is bare minimum Ali shit. Definitely not going to clap for him. It is definitely bare minimum Ali shit, just going on an LGBT show. I think it's basically like going to Pride and then saying you're an ally and just doing that. You know, I think there definitely needs to be a bit more action for you before you can qualify, before you can start calling yourself, and before you can start being comfortable calling yourself an ally. And we find out that his drag name is Babykins LaRue. And then we see Nico, and Nico reveals that they identify as non-binary. Then, very oddly, we get a breakdown, not from Nico, but from one that basically schools people who might not know what non-binary is. You know, it is fairly new, I think, in terms of the mainstream. But obviously, for those of you who have been living under a rock and don't know, non-binary people don't subscribe to a specific gender, and their pronouns, so what they are referred to gender-wise, is they and them instead of the binaries of he and she. But yeah, I thought it was a bit weird that Monster was explaining it and not Nico. But okay. So Nico says that because they are non-binary, they want to do non-binary themed drag, and they don't want to tuck to have some sort of political statement, I'm guessing. And then they're going on a bit of a rant, basically saying that their presence on RuPaul's Drag Race is bigger than them, basically saying that they're representing for all of the non-binary drag queens and all the non-binary people. And again, like I said in the beginning of the episode, Nico is very clearly self-important, but obviously on the show there has been a lot of controversy in terms of RuPaul's Drag Race and how some people feel like at times it has been very rigid in terms of Ru's expectations of a drag queen. Even the way that Ru presents themselves, they're a drag queen whose drag queen is essentially a female impersonation, specifically the impersonation of a quote-unquote biological woman. And I'm not sure if it was like a year or two ago, I think he must have said something, but I think it was along the lines of he wouldn't accept a fully transitioned woman to come on to the show and perform as a drag queen because it would be considered cheating. And there was a whole debate about that. But I feel like in terms of non-binary, gender bending, gender fluidity, I feel like the show has been inclusive on that. But Nico's involvement and the way that they edit in so much of Nico going on a rant about non-binary drag kind of seemed like, okay, you guys came for me, so this is what I'm going to do to show you that I'm with you guys so you can support my brand again. That's what Nico's inclusion and his editing kind of seemed to me. But what do you guys think? But anyway, obviously Mont is kind of just like, I'm with you, I hear your vision, but it could be a risk. It could go down really well, or it could like be shit. And their drag name was Love It, I think, or Lovvvt. I don't know, I didn't really catch it, but yeah. Let me see Jermaine, and he's talking about being a comedian and how his comedy is about breaking barriers, and he does impressions. And I'm not gonna lie, when he did his impressions, I was just like, I've heard better, for a comedian or somebody who says that is their main job. I would have expected stronger impressions. Bob says that Jermaine is funny, but I think she's definitely being nice, because I feel like Bob, who hasn't even released a comedy special or anything of that nature, is way funnier than Jermaine. And the group does a hill test walk, and Nico can obviously walk. They have experience doing drag, but even so, the walk wasn't to the standard of somebody who is gassing up that, they're one step ahead of everyone because they have experience in drag. I've seen better walks. Jermaine's walk was actually pretty decent, but Jordan's walk was a bit shaky, definitely needed some work, needed some milk. So then Ru comes into the workroom and kind of asks all of the contestants who they are planning to be. Before Ru came up to Jermaine, we see Jermaine and Bob discussing Whoopi Goldberg and Joan Rivers. Bob is kind of just like, don't do Whoopi Goldberg, she's not funny, that's going to be difficult to do. Some of the queens on the show try and do Whoopi Goldberg, it didn't work out. I definitely think Whoopi Goldberg could be funny, but I think people always get the tone wrong. In terms of what is funny about Whoopi Goldberg is that she just seems to be very judgy and miserable and grumpy. And I feel like that could be very funny if done well, but obviously if you are not funny or you're not creative, you're obviously going to struggle with that. And she was kind of just like, go with Joan Rivers. And even then I was just kind of like, I can't really see Jermaine doing Joan Rivers either. And then obviously when Ru comes to talk to them, he starts doing a Kevin Hart impression. I was thinking about doing Kevin Hart, but obviously I'm not sure if that will be allowed if he is a male character. And RuPaul basically gives him a pass and was like, oh, you could do Kavina. Obviously it's the celebrities, they're going to go easy on them, but I still feel like there should be a degree of rules here. In the Snatch game, he kind of framed it as he's playing Kevin Hart in drag because he's trying to make up for all of those problematic LGBT comments that he made, which, okay, I can get down with. I think that was a smart remix, but I still feel like it was cheating a bit. He definitely could have done his ex-wife or something. I'm not sure. I feel like that was a bit of a cheating going on. What would you guys think about Jermaine being Kavina? Do you feel like that's just genius? Or do you feel like it's a bit of a cheating going on? Or do you feel like it's not that serious for the celebrities? Then he reveals that his drag name is Miss Mimi Teapot, which is influenced by his mother, who was a lesbian and, was a big fan of the show. Growing up, they couldn't go to black churches because the blacks were homophobic. And the charity he planned to donate to if he won was RAIN, the reason why he wanted to donate, he reveals, is because he found out that a close childhood friend or relative of him was sexually abused, and obviously he didn't know about it, and he felt like if he knew about it, he could have done something. He felt a lot of guilt about it, so he wants to support this cause. Then we get to Jordan, and he says that even though he's quite reserved and shy in real life, he feels like once he gets on stage, once he's on stage and in drag, he's going to let loose. And his Drag Race character is going to be Chrissy Teigen, which I thought was quite interesting. Jordan reveals that the charity he would want to donate to if he won would be a charity that deals with cystic fibrosis and, helps research and finding a cure, because his fiance's dad died of the disease when she was young. So he wants to, do it for his fiance. And then Nico reveals that they want to play Lucia Ball for Snatch Game. I don't know who Lucia Ball is, to be honest. I've never heard of her. I don't know who Lucia Ball is, to be honest. And they also reveal that the charity they would want to donate to if they won is a charity that deals with trans issues, specifically legislation that discriminates against transgender people. Everyone is saying that they're nervous, but they're hyped for Snatch Game, especially Nico. And we see a little snippet where Jermaine has alluded to the fact that he hasn't really practiced the lip sync song. And I was just like, I was thinking maybe he's going to get it down, but it definitely was foreshadowing a mishap in the lip sync. But yeah, when he said that he hadn't learnt the lip sync yet, I didn't really think much of it because I kind of thought like they still had time. Then we see Trixie and Jordan having a conversation, and Trixie's basically asking him like, how are you so comfortable coming on this show as a straight male? There's a lot of, oh my gosh, it's a straight male in drag going on this episode. He just basically said that he was an issue, but he just kind of thought, fuck it, I don't care what anybody thinks, I'm here to have fun. And how he said maybe in the past, especially when he was getting into football, he might have been nervous about going on a show like this, but he says that because he's in a place where he's comfortable with his masculinity, he doesn't really feel any type of way about going on a show like this, because if anything, going on a show like this would affirm his masculinity. And then Trixie was kind of just like, oh, wow, that's amazing, because even some gay men are afraid to, get into drag. And I was just kind of like, well, first off, not every gay man automatically wants to be a drag queen. But anyway, I kind of get the point that they were trying to make. And then they revealed that, they were afraid that they were at one point that they were afraid to kind of let everybody know that they were a drag queen, that they would hide stuff from people, and he'd feel very embarrassed about it and very guilty for enjoying it. But, now he has found peace. So that was a little snippet there. And we see like a little snippet of, Jermaine giving his props to the black drag queens, to Bob and Monet, because he's saying, he's sick and tired of being boxed and being a stereotype, and how people always feel like as a, black person, you have to be like these limited amount of things. That was, that was a little cute moment of, black people hyping up other black people. And then we see the first snippets of the contestants in drag. So first off, we see Nico, and Nico's makeup's been done by Monet. But Monse, for the most part, has decent makeup. So I definitely would have expected more from her. Maybe she's not used to doing makeup for paler skin. Then we see Jordan, and the makeup, again, was not looking that great. Trixie, she's not the best makeup artist. She definitely has a specific look. But even her specific look, I still would have expected better from Trixie. And considering that Jordan clearly would have been such a beautiful woman, I just think it was a waste of a canvas, to be honest. And then we see Jermaine, and I personally think that he had the best transformation. And I was pleasantly surprised, because in terms of who I thought would have had one of the weaker makeup games, I thought it would have been Bob, to be honest, because sometimes Bob's makeup is not looking that great. But he did a great job for Jermaine. Jermaine was saying that he looks like his mum. And when some people are just like, oh yeah, I look like my mum. But then we see a picture of insert of Jermaine's mum, and he literally looked the same as his mother in drag. Like, it was so weird. We're taken to the main stage for Snatch Game, and the Snatch Game it's not done in a studio. It's done basically on the main stage. The judges are watching together on the sidelines, and they've also got a live audience as well who were laughing like it was like Friends or something. And I didn't like it. I didn't like them not having this kind of, host format that they usually do. I thought it was a bit weird. And the live audience as well, because the live audience kept laughing at the dry jokes, and I was just like, this is so forced. I don't really like this format specifically. Critiquing all of the celebrities, Jordan, I thought Jordan was okay, but because they're an actor, I expected a bit more from them. It wasn't really giving me Chrissy Teigen vibes. If we were judging this if this was a normal format, I think it would probably be a safe performance depending on what the other contestants had done. Then we have Kavina. It was good, but not the best out of the girls, but in essence was not really that funny. It kind of got a bit repetitive, and yeah, it just really was not that funny. I think in the main challenge they definitely would have been safe. And then we see Lucia Ball, and they were not funny at all. I'm not sure what they were doing. It was just everywhere. And I thought if this was a real thing, then Nico would definitely be in the bottom. So overall, I was pretty underwhelmed by the quality of this Snatch Game from the celebrities. And, it's a celebrity. You're not supposed to take it that serious. But I just kind of feel like, considering they are all basically actors, I would expect them to do better than the actual drag queens who are not actors. So yeah, I was a bit underwhelmed by the Snatch Game. So then pretty quickly we see them on the runway. There's only one runway look. We see Jordan first, but his makeup is bad. Trixie definitely did a bad job with the makeup. The bake was just too overbaked that it was white, and I just don't know what Trixie was doing to Jordan's face. And again, it's just like, Jordan has such a nice face. It just seemed very selfish. It just seemed very cruel that we didn't get to see his full drag potential. Then we see Jermaine, and Jermaine is definitely giving fish. The walk is pretty decent. They're giving face, and I think on the runway they were definitely the best. Then we have Nico. Now, the makeup is definitely better this time. Monet definitely did a better job this time around. The walk is quite masculine, but I'm guessing they're going with their non-binary drag. They've got, their hair out, the hairy armpits. So, yeah, it's not particularly my favourite type of drag, but fair dues for them for their vision. So, yeah, then after we get the critiques for everything, and the judges go easy on them. Like, they don't read them for absolutely anything. Nobody read Nico, which was weird for me. And I'm guessing maybe it's because they're celebrities, they're just going to go easy on them. But I just kind of feel like, but I personally would have preferred to have honest critiques. Yes, they could have been nice about it, nicer than they are to the poor girls on the show. But I think they should have been honest. I feel like them being nice and not telling them what they did bad was just a bit nauseating for me. But what do you guys think? Do you feel like you liked that it was all positive in the spirit of the celebrity drag race, or do you feel like they should have been honest with their critiques? We do see Jermaine get emotional on the runway when he starts talking about his mother. And Nico, when asked what their favourite part of the experience was the fact that, he saw straight men taking part, which validated his work in collapsing the binary divisions. And everybody is clapping, but you know what? I could tell on Monet's face, she was just like, okay, this is some hippie shit. Obviously, I can definitely understand, like, obviously, it's a good thing that Jermaine and Jordan are, not afraid to tap inside, not afraid to tap into feminine energy, but they still very much identify as binary genders. So, them going on the show doesn't now mean that they don't identify as male. So yeah, I just feel like the speech was a little bit strange. It felt a little bit kumbaya to me. At this point, if I was to base the winner off of solely the runway and the Snatch Game, I probably would have picked Jermaine at this point. But who would you have picked at this point as the winner before the lip sync? Then we have the lip sync for charity between the three of them. They have them all together doing the lip sync. And Jermaine was doing well at first, and I was rooting for him because I was just thinking, okay, you had the best Snatch game, you had the best runway, this is a sure win. And then obviously we see him forgetting the words quite early on, and I was just like, okay, he's out of the race. Then it's basically between Nico and Jordan. Nico is doing some things, they're dipping it and doing it. You know, they rip off their dress and they've got their slong out. They're performing. I can tell in Nico's head, they're probably thinking, I'm slaying this shit. I'm having them gagging. But Jordan said, not today. And Jordan really stole the show. Like, he was performing. He was giving face. He was strutting across the stage. And then to end it all off, he just did the splits out of nowhere. And I just kind of thought, I definitely did not see the splits coming. And that is how you do a split, because, you know, some of these girls just be doing splits this left, right and center, you know, taking the novelty out of it. But that was an ending. And after that, I was just like, Jordan's definitely won this competition. And what do you know? Jordan is crowned the winner. And that was definitely well deserved. Jermaine definitely could have done it, but forgetting the words, that's a rookie move. That was just lazy. Lazy on Jermaine's part. He definitely could have won it. But, you know, Jordan definitely a worthy winner. And, you know, 30k has now gone to cystic fibrosis. So, yeah, it's some good uplifting spirit. But what do you guys think? Out of the lip sync, do you think that Jordan clearly won that lip sync, or do you feel like Nico should have won? I'd be interested to know. So at the end of the episode, again, we just see Nico speaking and proud that, you know, Jordan and Jermaine are beginning to explore their femininity. And I was just thinking, this is probably the first and last time they're going to be in drag. Jordan might do a little girlfriend does my makeup thing for YouTube, but that is probably it. I just feel like Nico is one of those people who think that they're enlightened and just like to hear themselves speak. Definitely. But overall, I like Celebrity Drag Race. It's definitely not as entertaining as the regular Drag Race. I feel like it's very funny to me how they treat the celebrities versus how they treat normal contestants. You know, with the celebrities, they are allowed to have their families come and visit them, which is a luxury that the normal contestants don't get. So after seeing this episode, I just kind of feel like they should definitely give the contestants a chance to meet their family. And that could even be a section of the episode, you know, us meeting their family. So yeah, I feel like I'm not sure if I'm completely sold on this format. Obviously, it's a trial format. I feel like I would prefer to have like an actual season, a proper season with celebrities, and have them compete like actual celebrities, have them sewing, having them doing their own makeup. I feel like I would prefer that to this format, definitely. What do you guys think? Do you like the tester format, or do you feel like if this gets picked up, they should make it into an actual drag race, but specifically for celebrities? Obviously, when you've been watching RuPaul's Drag Race, it's hard not to think of it in a competition manner. Even though it essentially is, you still have to take like the lightheartedness, like these are just literally these are not actual drag queens. But I would still like a little bit more of the competition element in there, I think. So on Twitter, people are saying that Bob, Monet and Trixie did not know who any of these people were. And honestly, even me, there was only one person that I knew. The other two, I was just like, who the hell are these people? People are saying that Jordan and Jermaine were slaying in the Snatch game better than most of these queens. And I feel like if that's the case, like it should be the case, because they actually actors and comedians when the drag queens not necessarily are. So I'm not sure if this is proper shade going on here. People are saying that they're using the word celebrity loosely. People are saying that they don't care about them being huge celebrities and that this is the peak of comedy. Yeah, I like the funny, the goofy aspect of the show. People are here for Karina. People are saying that Jordan, Nico or Jermaine should replace Pervy Pie at the final. Awesome shade here. People are saying that the show is not made for gay people. Interesting. I'm not gonna lie, Rue has definitely sold out. I was even thinking like, okay, one straight male, but two of them? Could you not find anybody? But RuPaul has a large straight audience, and I feel like because RuPaul's such a big show, they know that the majority of its core audience is going to stick along and is going to accept some of the changes and allowances that they make to make it a bit more inclusive in terms of marketability and aka dollars. But what do you guys think? Do you feel like RuPaul is selling out a bit, or is evidently trying to cater towards a heterosexual audience? Let me know what you think. People said that they were expecting Channing Tatum. I'm not sure if RuPaul has Channing Tatum money. People are saying that this Snatch game was better than the last 4 seasons Snatch games. Rue was malfunctioning every time Nico was talking about transness and gender fluidity. I'm not really sure. I just feel like there was a lot of it this season. If anything, I feel like maybe that would apply. Obviously, there's a running joke there, but I feel like that would probably apply more if she had edited it out. But it seems like she made a point to put it in there to be like, hey, remember when you guys were roasting me? I've done this now. People are here for Bob the Drag Queen roasting Monet and Trixie. So yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of Twitter for the Celebrity Drag Race. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this format. Did you like it? Did you not? Are you going to stick around? Or are you just going to stick to a normal Drag Race? And let me know what you thought of my review. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you have, don't forget to press that notification bell so you know when the next review is dropping. Till next time, guys. Bye.